Welcome to Big Blend Radio with your hosts, Lisa and Nancy, editors of BigBlendMagazine.com.
Hey everyone, all is ours today.
That's all mine.
It's mine. It's ours. It's all mine. It is April 8th, 2023. That's what they say. It's National All Hours Day today. And so welcome to the Big Daily Blend with Nancy and Lisa. We are the Crazy Mother-Daughter Travel Team, and today we are in Lubbock, Texas, here for the Easter weekend.
And it's all ours.
It's ours. It's ours. All the birds, all the beautiful skies. It's ours. National All Is Ours Day is about it's about appreciation and gratitude, and three different ways to get involved in it. One is it's time to reflect on all of the beauty of nature and all the wonderful things in life.
I like that.
One is to celebrate the day by appreciating what we already have.
That's always a good practice.
See, like Willie Nelson says, count your blessings.
That's right.
Yeah, his life turned around as soon as he started counting his blessings. The other way is to view the day as by sharing what we have.
Oh, now that's good.
So I may share some of my Easter chocolate with you, Nancy.
You have Easter chocolate? I didn't know.
I do.
Well, then
so
now
I will share.
That I know,
but it was supposed to be for tomorrow.
Well, okay.
But I'll share. But we could open early if I share.
Okay.
Is that okay? Because it is the weekend.
You just brighten my day.
I know. But yes, so everyone, if you go to our show notes, no matter where you're listening to this podcast from, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Acast, all those places that you get podcasts, if you go to the show notes, there's going to be links to a Spotify and a YouTube music playlist, and we really encourage you to check them out because it's so much fun to pair music to what happens in history, what is some pop culture, and all these holidays. And today we decided Blue Sky Day by the Madisons, and they've been on our show. Lizzie Harris has been on our show quite a few times over the years. We thought this song really goes with All Is Ours Day.
Already.
Because we love blue sky days, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
We love it. It is off of the album Air on the Side of Love. So I totally encourage you to go check this awesome band out and kick off the playlist with that. All right. It is also International Feng Shui Awareness Day.
Oh.
Feng Shui we've done a lot of shows on this. It's really about creating pathways in your home, your office.
Gotta get the energy right.
Like if you put thorns in the front of your house, like anything like cactus in the front, you're telling people don't come in.
That's right.
And maybe you want that. That's or
right.
you want it to be welcoming, so then maybe do flowers with it, Roses are good.
And winding pathways are always nice.
It's the flow of energy, and they say that many people in Asia and the West believe in feng shui. And specialists, basically, it's all about improving wealth, life, happiness, and family. And so when you do buy a house or decorate, it's good to add this in. There's certain things, like I know we've done this on so many shows, like you don't want to sit with your back to a door. You'll never feel at ease because it's an insecurity place.
Well, also for a person walking in, it's kind of rude.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel good. Yeah. You want to have your back to the wall and so you can see out when someone comes into your office.
Absolutely.
Or even in your bedroom, if your back is to the door, you're never going to feel at ease. No. You're going to feel at discomfort.
I always like a window where you can look out at the birds.
I want to see out. I want the birds. I want the flowers. I want the blue sky day.
I don't want my back against a window. I want to look out the window.
I want to look, yeah, exactly. It's also International Kids Yoga Day today.
Well, that's cool.
I think this is so good because it really helps kids to find balance, be calm. It's meditative. It's really good for your body and obesity. And, that's what they're saying, that kids are getting diabetes so fast and early in life.
That's crazy.
Diabetes, obesity, and yoga is an easy way to, you don't have to have all this equipment either. So it's cost effective for families.
I think it helps children and adults center themselves.
Well, I also think, so many kids have phones in the palm of their hands.
Oh,
TVs on, all that kind of stuff. So
too much.
It's good
Too
for
much.
them to
Get
chill
out
out.
in nature.
I think the meditation, especially with everything that's going on in the world, calmness, centering is a good thing. Now, here's a really cool thing too. It is Pygmy Hippo Day.
Oh, they're so cute.
Well, they're endangered species.
They're so cute.
There are the endangered hippos. They're the smaller cousin of the regular big hippopotamus. And they are almost on the verge of extinction.
That's sad. And they look like they're smiling
They're
all
so
the
cute.
time.
There's
They
only
really
about
are.
2,000 left in the world.
Oh, that's such a shame.
Mainly found in the Ivory Coast, Guinea, and Sierra Leone. They are about half the size of a regular hippopotamus.
Yeah.
And
They're
we've seen
babies.
many hippos when we lived in Kenya and South Africa. We were so lucky.
I love them.
Don't mess with them. Nancy's been charged. You've been charged by
I
hippo.
know, but it was fun.
You got charged by hippo.
I know. And I had
Tell people what you did. Tell everybody why you got charged by hippo.
I just went
This
down.
is not a pygmy, but
I just went down and said, "Hello, how are you?" And all of a sudden, Hippo went, "Want to find out?"
Yeah.
And he came.
but
out
you
of
were sketching, weren't you?
Yeah, I was sketching him, and see, this is the thing. Animals don't really like to be looked at,
Focused.
and focused on like that. So I was sketching, and that was mainly because my boss at the time told me to, and so then the hippo started coming towards me, and I thought, "Oh man, this is cool."
Duh.
Yeah. Well, and I was
say?
saying, "Let's pick up the camera and take some pictures." Big mistake. And then I was to say, as big as those animals are, they can move.
They can move.
And I didn't realize how fast they could get out of water and run.
Yeah.
So I was filming, and
How do you stop a hippo from judging?
yeah, you run up the bank. And so I had climbed down this bank to be where the
With the
hippos
hippo.
were. Yeah, where the hippos were. So there was no place to run. I had to climb up the bank, and it was right at my butt, if I can put it that way.
You got the hippo in the
yeah,
butt-skis.
snapping
Butt-skis.
like I was like, whoa,
man.
But then when I got to the top of the bank and looking down, then the hippo just kind of shook his head,
Like
and he
you-
went like,
Idiot.
darn, and I missed your butt. And he went back in the water, but he did
been a
that. He
woman.
did that big.
How do you know if it was male or female?
I just felt like it was a male. Cause
Maybe you had babies nearby.
maybe you don't know.
Do you know right now is alligator
So-
mating time? Sorry, I know that has nothing to do. I was just thinking crocodiles and hippos because they
Yeah,
hang out.
because they have that kind of thing going. But so he goes back in the water, and then he does that big their call.
Well, this is a good podcast. I like
I know,
this. Do it again.
but it was a
There you
and so
go,
it's like,
everybody. Nancy and the hippo.
I know. So I was like, man, that was the coolest experience.
See, all right. So I love
Not
this.
recommended, but it was pretty
So
cool.
we've got a song dedicated to this.
Oh, cool.
Dedicated to the pygmy hippos and all hippos out there. Flight of the Cosmic Hippo. This is from Bella Fleck and the Flecktones, and I love this song. In fact, this whole show today, I mean, we're doing Wine and Roses, hippos, baseball. We're going from Louisiana to Southern California, Palm Springs. We've got a lot going on this show, but the hippos, this is a fun thing. So just be prepared on this show. It's getting a little wild here. The Cosmic Hippo, I just love the name. I mean, I kind of feel like it should be, I don't know, that should be a band name. Yeah, it's an album name. Well, anyway.
I don't know if I'd want to be
Well,
called
Bella
a
Flecktones,
comic.
it actually, they released it in 1991, and it reached #1 on the Billboard Top Contemporary Jazz Albums. I was going to say, it's like the Pink Panther. We have so
Yeah.
much music on today's show, or playlist, I should say.
Yeah.
That kind of reminds us of the Pink Panther kind of vibe.
Yeah, that's true.
They got this album title from an audience member who suggested Flight of the Codeine Hippo.
Coding.
Yeah, so they changed it from Codeine to Cosmic.
Yeah, that's a good swap.
And the album cover is awesome.
Yeah.
I love the album cover. Actually, I think the Cosmic Hippo should be, I don't know why I want to say like a dress shop. I don't know.
Well,
Because of
Walt
the tutu.
Disney used,
The tutu with the hippo.
in Fantasia, he had
That's what it
dancing
is. That's what I'm
hippos.
thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay, it's also National Empanada Day, and who doesn't
Yummy.
love a good empanada?
Yeah.
This is a Spanish dish. It's really like, pastry, like a bread that covers, it's like little pasties. Like Cornish pasties, I think, are like an empanada too.
Yeah.
Like you get those in
just
England.
not as spicy.
We don't get those here. But they're Portuguese, Spanish. They say that it's rumored that there is an actual recipe for an empanada that was found in a cookbook published in 1520 in Catalan. And I don't know if that's true, but it mentions, by Ruperto de Nola, it mentions empanadas being filled with seafood. So this leads us to Natchitoches, Louisiana, one of our most favorite places on the planet.
Oh, yeah.
And Natchitoches is the oldest city in the state of Louisiana. And they have their own state food, and that is the meat pie.
Which is yummy.
You got to think, they have Spanish and French influences, in their cultural makeup of Natchitoches. Creole, of course, right? Cajun. You've got African American, Native American. But it's all there in Natchitoches.
It's a blend.
It is a blend, and that means you eat very well when you go to Natchitoches.
Oh, for sure.
But the meat pies, they have a meat pie festival. It's normally, I think, September. Anyway, so we do a show every third Tuesday with Arlene over at the Visitor Bureau in Natchitoches. But you have to have their meat pie, and they have a gas station food trail.
And you know what?
Seriously.
It's amazingly good.
The food that comes out of gas stations throughout the state of Louisiana, you get tamales. You get tamales and Zwolle tamales. Zwolle, the town of Zwolle has tamales, and they're thin, but they really go more of the Native American culture from that area. But gas station food, you go in, you get down to southwest Louisiana, you get boudin.
We like the boudin.
We like the boudin. And anyway, so we love Louisiana. It's pretty obvious. But anyway, so that is our link, our article link for the day is a culinary adventure in Natchitoches, Louisiana. So again, everything we're talking about is in the show notes. So the link for that so you can learn more about their food. And it also happens to be that in 1682, and I'm going to botch this guy's name, I'm sorry, dude, René Robert Cavalier Sieur de la Salle. All right, so
it's going to be Robert.
Yeah,
instead
Robert.
of Robert.
René Robert Cavalier. Lord is the Sieur part. De la Salle claimed the Mississippi River Basin for France, naming it what? Louisiana.
There you go.
Hello, Louisiana. And then, so now we're going to go way fast forward to 1974 on this date, April 8th. Dr. John released the album Desertively Bonaroo. I don't know if I'm pronouncing Desertively right. That's like the first time I've heard it. But anyway, the title is a Creole saying for good stuff. People say it's good stuff. It's also like a French thing for meaning like good stuff on the street, basically. The best on the streets. Like you've got the best, And so that was a title of his album. And it spent 8 weeks on the Billboard 200 chart, peaking at 105 on June 1st, 1974. So here's some fun facts about this. The Bonaroo Music Festival, that is how they got their name, from that album. That inspired them. They were looking through old albums for inspiration. What are we going to call our music festival? And Bonaroo, and because it's the best on the streets, man. So it's like, we've got the best music. So Bonaroo, baby. So
I like that word.
I know. I just want to go like Bonaroo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the big Bonaroo.
I got the Bonaroo. You got the Bonaroo?
I got the
You got the Bonaroo. So the Bonaroo, Desertively, Bonaroo is in the playlist, in the show notes, so you can listen on YouTube and Spotify. So now we're going to baseball and basketball, two things Nancy and I know nothing about, but we can report that this stuff went down in history. On this day in 1893, so April 8th, 1893, was the first recorded college basketball game, occurred in Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. In fact, you and I have driven past Beaver Falls, but we've never actually gone to the falls as of yet.
We will, though.
We will. 1965, the Astrodome opened in Houston, Texas, hosting the very first indoor baseball game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, some Texas history. Now, let's go to 1974. It's a good year, I'm just saying. At Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, Hank Aaron hit his 715th career home run to surpass Babe Ruth's 39-year-old record.
Wow.
I would say that is, as I would say, badass.
Iconic.
That is,
That's a lot of home runs.
715.
Wow.
All right, now 1940, we're going to go back a little bit because there's some birthdays to celebrate. John J. Havlicek was born on this day. He's a Hall of Fame basketball player. And a Hall of Fame baseball player known as Gary Carter was born on this day in 1954. Cool. Going back to Louisiana, you know, they have the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame in Natchitoches.
Yeah, they do.
Saying.
And that's a good place to go to learn about sports.
Terry Bradshaw's in there.
I know.
That's important. It's important. All right, so now to more of a current bit of history. On this day in history, April 8th, 2016, the Baltimore Orioles played the Woody Guthrie song, This Land Is Your Land, during the 7th inning stretch in their game against the Rays. It started a tradition of playing the song at every Friday home game, and it's nice. All part of their Community Heroes program to honor local citizens, which is an effort to diversify their musical selections to reflect their progressive ideals.
That's nice.
So Fridays they play This Land Is Your Land. On Saturday nights they play America the Beautiful, and on Sunday it is God Bless America.
See?
They're covering their bases.
That's right. All of it.
Oh, did I say bases. That? I did it.
Inside joke.
Uh-huh. So, of course, This Land Is Your Land. We actually played it a few shows ago with Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
For some reason,
you got to do it.
Something happened.
Bruce.
Maybe it was Woody's birthday. I don't know what it was for. But we thought, hey, we're going to spice it up. So Tom Morello and the Night Watchmen they performed this. It was part of their Uniontown album. And so This Land Is Your Land by Tom Morello. I still think he's one of the craziest guitar players. That is in the playlist. So I hope you enjoy that. And moving from baseball and basketball to something we know a little bit more. Mary Pickford, the arts, music and the arts. So we'll start at the stage and screen with Mary Pickford. She was born on this day in 1892. And she makes it as our quote of the day. We always do that on Facebook and Twitter. You can follow us on Facebook under Big Blend Radio Mags, Twitter at Big Blend Mag. So the quote of the day is, if you have made mistakes, there's always another chance for you. You may have a fresh start any moment you choose. For this thing we call failure is not falling down, but the staying down. See, we got to pick yourself up, dust yourself off.
You learn the lesson and move forward. If you stay down, well, there you go.
No, I don't want to stay down.
No, we don't.
No. So I think that is, she comes from she didn't come from a very wealthy family. Their money was up. She worked her butt off. Her original name is Gladys Louise Smith, and also known as Gladys Marie Smith. So she was born, April 9th, 1892. I thought it was the 8th. Hello. I don't know, but some people say it's the 8th. In Toronto, Canada, and she died on May 29th, 1979 in Santa Monica. She was really known as America's sweetheart and of the silent screen and one of the first film stars.
Right.
At the height of her career, she was one of the richest and most famous women in the United States.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Good for her.
We found this really cool song, and I'm sure many of you know it, but this is new for us. Katie Malo, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing that either. This is from her Pictures album that came out in 2007. She wrote the song Mary Pickford. And a lot of people call it Mary Pickford likes to eat roses, right? And so Katie turns out to be from the country of Georgia. She was born in Kutaisi, raised in Belfast and in London. And her musical debut was in 2003. Within 3 years, she was the United Kingdom's best-selling female artist,
wow,
as well as Europe's highest-selling European female artist.
Good for her.
So it's kind of like a Mary Pickford story,
Yeah.
right? And the song is fantastic because it tells the history of Mary Pickford and Charlie Chaplin, and so it's
That
in the
era.
playlist again. Look in the show notes; it is there. And speaking of roses, on this day in history, 1963, Frank Sinatra hosted the 35th Academy Awards. Frank Sinatra connects to Palm Springs, just saying, because we're going to talk about Palm Springs. But this was held at the Santa Monica Civic Auditorium, and Lawrence of Arabia won the Best Picture, with composer Maurice Jarre taking home the Best Original Score. However, Henry Mancini and Johnny Mercer land the Best Original Song for Days of Wine and Roses from the film of the same name.
Awesome.
So, I have to just say, we've definitely got Days of Wine and Roses in the playlist. Obviously, Henry Mancini and Johnny Mercer. The recipe of the day, because I thought roses, and it's Easter weekend, we're thinking flowers. Ruth Andrus, her recipe for apple roses. We met Ruth and her husband and family in Grand Rapids, Michigan a couple years ago. She knows how to cook. This lady can bake, cook.
Oh, yeah.
And we still have more recipes to feature of hers.
And that's a good recipe.
This recipe, her and her husband run the Leonard at Logan House Bed and Breakfast in Grand Rapids, Michigan, in the Heritage Hill District, this very historic area. In fact, the house next to him was designed by Frank Lloyd Wright, and that's got a whole story to it. And the man who built the house, it's this giant brownstone mansion, right? Actually invented putting porcelain inside of a refrigerator. So, because his wife kept complaining, you can't wipe stuff off, with the old ice boxes. And that's how we have clean and easy to clean refrigerators inside, on the inside.
Yeah.
And they have one of the original ones at the B&B. It's such a cool place, and the people, and they have a beautiful garden. Anyway, it rocks. So the recipe,
fun.
Yeah, you've got to check up, Google up the Leonard at Logan House Bed and Breakfast, Grand Rapids, if you go to Michigan, and of course the link to the recipe and all their information is in the show notes. So we're going to do that. However, going back to the Days of Wine and Roses, here is Steve Schneickert, our good friend who's done our Hollywood History podcast for years. Here's one of the first ones he did, too. It's kind of one of the first ones. The Days of Wine and Roses. Take a listen.
The days of wine and roses, laugh and run away like a child at play. In this 1962 addiction melodrama, directed by Blake Edwards, Joe Clay, Jack Lemmon, a promising ad man, meets his future wife Kirsten, Lee Remick, at a party. Once married, the pressures of his business leads Joe to seek solace in liquor. Kirsten joins him in his nocturnal drinking sessions, and before long, both are confirmed alcoholics. After several frightening episodes, Joe is able to shake the habit thanks to AA. However, Kirsten finds it impossible to get through the day without liquor. The two split up, although Joe clings to the hope that someday he and Kirsten will be reunited, if for no reason other than the sake of their young daughter. Henry Mancini and Johnny Mercer won an Academy Award for Best Original Song. Let me entertain you. Let me make you smile. Starring Natalie Wood, Rosalind Russell, and Carl Malden, Gypsy is a 1962 musical comedy drama film produced and directed by Mervyn LeRoy. The screenplay by Leonard Spicklegass is based on the book of the 1959 stage musical Gypsy, a musical fable by Arthur Lawrence, which was adapted from Gypsy, a memoir by Gypsy Rose Lee. Stephen Sondheim wrote the lyrics for songs composed by Julie Stein. The film was remade for television, starring Bette Midler as the iconic stage mother, Mama Rose. Curtain up, light the lights, we've got nothing to hit but the heights. Honey, everything's coming up, roses for me and for you. There's a yellow rose in Texas that I'm going to see. Nobody else could miss her, not half as much as me. The Yellow Rose of Texas is a 1944 American film directed by Joseph Kane. Singing cowboy Roy Rogers is an insurance investigator sent to find a stash of money lifted from a company payroll. Portraying a performer on a showboat as an undercover guise, Roy meets Betty Watson, Dale Evans, the daughter of the alleged robber Sam Weston, Harry Shannon, who has recently escaped from prison. Together, Roy and Betty, with the help of Roy's horse Trigger, set out to prove her father was wrongly accused and track down the real criminal. Far beneath the bitter snow lies the seed that with the sun's love in the spring becomes the rose. Nominated for 4 Academy Awards, including Best Actor in a Supporting Role, Frederick Forrest, Best Actress in a Leading Role, Bette Midler in her screen debut, Best Film Editing, and Best Sound, The Rose is a 1979 drama film directed by Mark Rydell, which tells the story of a self-destructive 1960s rock star who struggles to cope with the constant pressures of her career and the demands of her ruthless business manager. The story is loosely based on the life of singer Janis Joplin. Originally titled Pearl after Joplin's nickname and the title of her last album, it was fictionalized after her family declined to allow the producers the rights to her story. Tell her you care each time you speak. Make it her birthday each day of the week. Roses and lollipops and roses. The days of wine and roses and you. I am Steve Schneickert, and this is Hollywood history as I recall it.
All right, again, that was Steve Schneickert and his Hollywood history segment on the Days of Wine and Roses. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah.
We have to get him back on a show soon.
Yeah, we
He was
did.
on our show on Monday, talking about celebrities and who served in the military with Mike Wardia. It was awesome. And then he hung out for the Big Daily Blend. All right, so moving forward, Mary Pickford was indeed born on April 8th. I was right. And see, you've got to watch your notes on the internet. I'm just saying. But either way, like, she's cool to celebrate. In fact, speaking of celebrating in San Diego, because we're going to do a little feature in Southern California, the Paloma Theater. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
The Paloma Theater in Encinitas, California, right on Historic 101. This historic theater, she was actually one of the first people to actually help it become established. It was one of the very first theaters that did actually have talking movies.
That's right.
And she used to go down to Moonlight Beach, which is a state park, beautiful state park. It would just literally just down the hill. You have to go down the hill. And she would go out there on her bicycle and have midnight picnics at full moon.
See?
That's what they say, the legend of Mary Pickford.
Yeah, well, I believe it.
This is so cool.
Because it's a beautiful place to do that.
Oh my God, I love Encinitas. They have the most awesome botanical garden there too.
Oh, I know.
And then the Self-Realization Fellowship, the meditation gardens there. Yeah, talk about a good day to go do some yoga with your kids. Like, it's so beautiful. The crashing waves.
Oh, it's nice.
Oh, I love Southern California.
Yeah.
We do. All right, so we're going to go back to music, though. Carmen McRae, the jazz singer, was born on this date, April 8th. I'm going to keep saying that. 1920. She was born Carmen Mercedes McRae. She lived until November 10th, 1994. She was a jazz singer, as we were talking about, but she's also considered one of the most influential jazz vocalists of the 20th century and is remembered for her behind-the-beat phrasing and iconic interpretation of lyrics.
Wow.
So, of course, her on the playlist. And chose Take 5. We all know that song, right? Take 5 with the Dave Brubeck Quartet. And she's got a great voice. Now, Shecky Green was born on this day. Shecky is a comedian and an actor. He was born Fred Sheldon Greenfield on April 8th, 1925. Some say it's 1926. Here you go.
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go. He's a comedian also known for his nightclub performances in Las Vegas, Nevada, where he became a headliner in the 50s and 60s. He also has been in several movies like Tony Rome, The History of the World, Part 1, Splash. Remember Splash? Nancy's magazine name in South Africa, too.
Yep.
He also guest starred on TV shows like American Style and Combat, and then later Laverne and Shirley and Mad About You. Remember that?
Yes.
And we want to say happy birthday to everyone celebrating their birthday today and this weekend.
Of course.
Happy birthday.
It's cool when your birthday falls
It's all
on the
yours.
weekend.
It's all yours.
It's yours.
It's
Go
all of
for
yours
it.
today.
Go
All of
for
it.
it.
Take it. Take it.
Get
Eat it. Eat
candles.
that
Get
cake.
cake.
Eat that cake.
Celebrate.
All right. So the Lennon sisters. The singing quartet. Diane. We've got Diane, Peggy, Kathy, and Janet. Well, on this day in history, Peggy was born. So hello, Peggy. So these ladies really, they were on the Lawrence Welk show, I think, from
For years.
1955 to the 68.
Yeah, for years.
Do you know that they only got union scale wages?
Really?
Yep. Apparently,
Well,
that's what they say on the internet.
Kind of disgusting.
Yep. This was all before having their own TV show. And so that was called Jimmy Durante Presents Durant or Durante? Jimmy Durant. Here we go. Presents the Lennon Sisters, and the show was canceled. After that was canceled, they partnered with Andy Williams and did a Vegas residency for quite a while. And he's got an amazing voice.
Yeah,
seriously, he does. So right now, they're still going. The Lennon Sisters are still out there. Kathy, Janet, and Mimi, they're still performing. They also do an annual Christmas show at the Andy Williams Moon River Theater in Branson, Missouri.
Cool.
So Peggy has passed, and she is not with us anymore. However, we got to celebrate her birthday, and we do want to add their song, "The Windmills of Your Mind" and "Going Out of My Head." This is a great medley that they did, and that is on the playlist for you to enjoy. I do want to say in 2001, they were inducted into the Vocal Group Hall of Fame.
Oh, nice.
Right on. Girl power. There's a lot of girl power on today's show. I'm not talking about the Cosmic Hippo. I'm just saying.
Oh,
Come on. I'm just kidding.
I like the cosmic.
Patricia Arquette, the actor, was born on this day in 1968. Man, she has done a ton. She's very, very successful. She's won all kinds of awards, Emmys, Golden Globes, you name it, she's won it. And Academy Awards, you know. But on TV, she played the character Alison Dubois, which is based on the author and medium, Alison Dubois, who claims to have psychic abilities in this. And so this is a supernatural drama series that ran from 2005 to 2011. And she won the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actress in a drama series in 2005 for it. And so anyway, regards to this, I added the song from our good friend John Roniger out of New Orleans, because we still got the Louisiana theme going on. This is John Roniger and the Good for Nothing Band with their song Crystal Ball. So check that out again in the playlist linked from the show notes. So in conclusion, going back to Southern California, our puzzle and park of the day, because normally we have a puzzle and a park, but this has both, and I think we have a video in there, is Lake Cuyamaca. Lake Cuyamaca is outside Julian. It's at the Rancho Cuyamaca State Park. It's all kind of connected, and it is beautiful. Julian is in San Diego's mountains, and we used to go hang out there just to see the Canada geese, have a meal, enjoy the lake. You can go out fishing.
Spot.
You can go hiking in the state park right there. Is a county or state park. It's beautiful. They have azaleas that bloom out there. Right now, that area is getting ready. They have blossoms. I mean, I know they've had a major winter as well up in the mountains there. But it's gorgeous. And if you go down the hill, like through, you can, there's a couple ways you can go, but you can get to Palm Springs. And so what's really great about this area of Southern California is you can go from the desert to the mountains to the beach so quickly within a few hours. And that's easy. It's awesome. And right now, all of it is beautiful. And so Palm Springs is our main interview of the day. We always have a Big Blend radio show every day at 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And today was with Kimberly Munkers and representing the Palm Springs Preferred Small Hotel Group, which is awesome because it's over 70 to 80 hotels that are independently owned, all with swimming pools, all with beautiful views, charm, history. And Palm Springs is so much fun, and you'll hear that. So just tune in on bigblendradio.com at that time or later to hear the podcast with her. But I wanted to say our final song of the day, Nancy. Mm-hmm. And about Lake Cuyamaca, you can find that on nationalparktraveling.com, where the link is in the show notes, like everything else. We're going to close with a playlist with Sands of Time. Oh, nice. It's by Bay Station, and the lead singer, Deborah Crooks, has been on our show a few times with her solo work as well as with the band Bay Station. And they're based up in Northern California, but we first met them with their album Other Desert Cities, which they recorded after time in Joshua Tree National Park, just outside Palm Springs. So we want to play the song Sands of Time. Nice. Again, their album is Other Desert Cities. It came out in 2018. And so everyone, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you're having an awesome Easter weekend. You ready for chocolate?
It's chocolate and bunny
and
time.
You can eat chocolate anytime you want on Easter weekend. I don't care. 2 in the morning, 5 in the morning, 7. You can have it for breakfast. And remember, it's sharing day, so let's do it.
You need to share, Lisa.
Yeah, you do. Thank you all for joining us. Keep up with us at bigblendradio.com. Have fun.